Hello, Dancing with the Stars fans. I'm Gold Derby editor Daniel Montgomery here with our contributors Jeffrey Kare and Cordell Martin here to talk about a celebration of Taylor Swift night on Dancing with the Stars. And let's start with the elephant in the room or the elephant out of the room. Um, Harry Jowsey was finally eliminated from the competition, which was a relief, honestly. And no hard feelings to the guy, but like now we can actually focus on the dancing more than like who's got the rabid fan base that won't stop voting people in. Um, what did you think about that, Cordell?
Yeah, watching the episode, I was a little nervous at first, especially with the scores he received. When I saw those eights come from Carrie and I think Mandy Moore, if I'm not mistaken, I was just like, uh-oh, either Charity or Allison is toast. So I was just mentally preparing myself for them to go. And then especially at the end when Alfonso mentioned that the Swifties came out in full force for record-breaking voting. And then to see Harry be the one eliminated, I'm like, you know what? I might have to be an honorary Swiftie. Like Swifties, you guys did your thing. Kudos to you guys. But in all seriousness, I think it was a great run for Harry. I think I mean, he slowly improved week after week, but I think it was good for him to end on a high note and not just tarnish his experience by, being that one contestant who makes it to the finals that people, tend to trash year in, year out. So
Yeah, and I will give credit where credit is due. In his rumba, like there were a couple of like turns when he was in hold where I'm just like, he learned something.
yeah.
I was like, okay, okay. What do you think about his performance and his finally his elimination, Jeffrey?
Okay, well, as always, I enjoyed watching Riley dance, although not so much Harry. But anyway, he really did the best he possibly could throughout this season, especially as he really wanted to get better week by week. And well, I mean, again, no disrespect to Harry, but I'm glad he's finally gone because he really did overstay his welcome. And I do echo Cordell's sentiments in that, well, I was prepared for the worst, that he might just make it to the finals as far as we know. But especially how I agree that he was definitely overscored last night. But thankfully, well, okay, we're now down to four really, well, actually five really, really good celebrity contestants here. So we don't have to worry about, and now we no longer have to worry about Harry making it to the finals when, at the expense of someone more deserving.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we have that core four who have been at or near the top for most of the season. It seems like they've been kind of almost destined to be the finalists the whole way through, and that's Jason Mraz, Ariana Madix, Charity Lawson, and Sochi Gomez. And joining them is Allison Hannigan. Now, one thing we learned about Allison Hannigan last night is she has a fan base that, at least last night, as we're recording this on Wednesday night, was stronger than Harry's. And Harry's fan base was pretty strong for a while there. So I would not rule out Allison in the finals, especially because she has the narrative arc that a lot of the celebrities are looking for. Like after her very first dance of the season was kind of a disaster, she has gradually improved and she is showing real ability out there, real ability to learn choreography, real timing. What do you think of her and her chances, Cordell?
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a lot of great points regarding Allison and her journey. And I think to your point, she does have a really great chance at making to the finals. As we've known watching season after season, there's usually like that one or two contestants who didn't start off the best, but you just saw their journey and them just growing in their confidence as a dancer. And I think Allison proved that this season, but also her fan base. I think out of the celebrities that are left, she's probably the most well known to a certain extent, I guess, with that Dance with Stars demographics. I think that's going to help her as well. And then also, she has that personality too that I think makes her relatable for the average viewer of the show compared to some of the other contestants, but we'll get more into that. But I think Allison has a really, really great shot of getting into the finals.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, she really has been growing more and more throughout the season. And, I thought her dance off against Harry last night, well, I mean, being up against Harry should be no small feat to do your best. But no, I thought she really brought it. And yeah, it does feel like, she could be, I do agree that, yeah, she could be, I guess kind of similar to, past, celebrity contestants who didn't start off strong but grew more week by week, like, Kel Mitchell a few years ago. So, yeah, I think Allison's got great potential to really make it to the finals. And, well, again, her fan base has really been there for her, even beyond you, Daniel. But, yeah.
I've been there. I'm not gonna lie. I give her 10 points pretty much every week when I vote. Yeah, but I do spread them out. I give 10 points to Jason. This week, I voted for everyone at least some points, but Harry. I'm like, I don't want this to continue. Let's just get it done. Vote for everyone to stick around, but maybe that one. No offense to Harry. A little slight offense to your dancing, but you seem like a swell person. So yeah, we'll see what I do next week though, because I really do think that core four, like Allison, does stick out as the dancer who's the least accomplished among those five. She hasn't quite reached their level, unless they make mistakes, and then sometimes she can sort of catch up to them. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how she performs next week, and if her fan base will vote her into the finals, which I think at this point is looking pretty possible.
Yeah.
And moving to the opposite end of the leaderboard, you have Jason Mraz, who really struggled with his samba last week, and this past week, or this week, for Taylor Swift night, he did an Argentine tango, which is such a wonderful opportunity whenever a celebrity has that dance, because it is such a potential showstopper with the lifts, with the sex appeal, with the intensity, the emotional intensity of that dance, and he delivered. I was a little surprised by the perfect score. I thought at least nines, but I did not think it would be all tens across the board. I actually went back and rewatched the routine, and I'm like thinking, okay, I don't mind those tens, but I'm still a little surprised that all the 10 paddles came out. I think they're trying to push his kind of comeback narrative a little bit after, so it's not that the tens were undeserved, but I definitely do think they were definitely kind of pushing that enthusiasm a little bit to give him that push. What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I echo exactly what you just said. And we kind of called this too. Like we knew after he's having those little rough weeks and kind of was in the middle of the pack, and after last week too, that if he was able to knock out this routine, it was going to be a perfect score potentially. And of course, he delivered on that. And I think the judges will now start to, give him those high scores leading into the finals just to make it competitive as another, spoiler to Ariana and Sochi. So,
yeah. What did you think of him, Jeffrey?
No, well, I agree that, the last night I thought was an absolute return to form for Jason in both his solo dance as well as in the relay dance off where he went up against Charity. I thought both did. Well, they're both equally amazing, but yeah, I mean, well, I do get Cordell's point in that. Well, yeah, he probably. Well, the judges are probably trying to really encourage him and, hoping that they're really championing his comeback. But, there's still a lot that can happen between now and the finals. But, I mean, yeah, if he, stays on, I guess, this track of quality, then, yeah, he could be very competitive for the win.
mm-hmm.
And that relay cha-cha, like I might have been even better than the paso or than the Argentine tango for me. Like there was such intensity and like sex appeal to it. Like he doesn't have that, like he's not in that lane like a lot of male celebrities are, like Harry was with his shirt out, use your shirt off, Tyson Beckford with his shirt off, Barry Williams, of course, with his shirt off. But like he's got that charisma when he gets out there, and that intensity, and he can really sell the mood of that dance. What did you think of that relay, Cordell?
Yeah, I think the dance relays were perfectly matched versus last week's. I mean, there was probably like one or two dance offs last week where it was just kind of like, and maybe that just might be just because of the contestants that were left last week. Definitely thought Charity gave Jason a run for his money, but you could tell like on Tuesday, excuse me, that it was, Jason's night. And so I figured they were just going to continue just to have a perfect week for him by giving him those extra points. So
what did you think of that relay, Jeffrey?
Well, oh yeah, I agree with Cordell. Yeah, I thought it was definitely a step up from last week, and as I mentioned, I thought Jason Charity both did equally amazing work in their round. And Ariana versus Sochi, I mean, I thought Sochi may have did slightly better, but both were equally incredible. And I will say that, despite Allison clearly being better than Harry in their round, I will say I definitely thought Harry gave one of his better performances there. So hey, I guess adding to my thoughts on him getting eliminated, I agree with Cordell that this was at least a good note for him to go out on.
Yeah. And one thing I want to talk about that I was really looking forward to, that didn't work out as well as I hoped, was Mandy Moore as a judge. I thought she would be a little bit more analytical, and we got analytical from Paula, we got analytical from Billy Porter. We didn't really get it from Mandy. She was very rah cheerleading for the competitors, which is all well and good, but like, I mean, when they earn your score, make them earn your score. Like, and like she gave one of the eights to Harry. I'm just like, girl. So what did you think about her judging, Cordell?
Yeah, I don't know if she was just like in the holiday mood or what it was, but to your point, I was definitely expecting a little bit more in terms of her critiques, and really just doing her homework, with her background as a professional dancer and choreographer to really help them as they move towards the finals. So it was a little disappointing to not get that because I definitely thought she was going to bring that. Yeah, like once she gave Harry the 8, I was just like, Mandy, like, no words. So,
What did you think, Jeffrey?
I mean, I guess her not having enough experience being an on-screen judge probably had something to do with it. I mean, I guess also you could also probably add to how, her background, as choreographer on this show, she obviously would play, fair to all the contestants. And yeah, did feel like how, at times she was probably over scoring some contestants, well, giving them better scores than what they probably deserve. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely see what you guys are talking about.
And with that, let's move on to the semifinals. The dances are up on ABC's press site, and everybody's dancing 2 full routines to decide who makes it into the finals. So let's go down the list one by one and see what we think of their routines. First off, you've got Sochi Gomez and Val Chmerkovskiy. Their one dance will be a samba. Okay, she's getting the samba.
yeah.
2 samba by Gloria Estefan and a waltz. So they're giving her a little bit of a break after the samba with the waltz. 2 La Vie en Rose by Lady Gaga. What do we think about those dances? I think she'll do fine with like the samba, and if she doesn't do fine, she'll have a comeback moment with the waltz, assuming that's the order it goes in. What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I think she's gonna do fine with both dances. I could definitely see the waltz being her perfect score, assuming that's her second dance. I feel like the judges are gonna be a little critical on her with the samba, just because they're gonna like it's semifinals week. You've been perfect this whole season or near perfect. I could see someone like Kare and just kind of, doing a little dig at her on the first dance, and then she comes out perfect. So, but overall, I think she's gonna be fine and will probably be number 1 or 2 on the leaderboard when it's all said and done.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I agree with Cordell. I think she'll be fine, especially, she'll have, different dance styles to work with, as well as different songs to work with. And at this point in the competition, I shouldn't expect any less from, all the phenomenal work she's been doing in the ballroom.
Next up, we've got Allison Hannigan and Sasha Farber. They will perform a jive to Footloose by Kenny Loggins and a waltz to Come Away With Me by Norah Jones. I think that waltz is going to be really great. I think jive is tough, but the good news is she just did a jive for her relay dance. So she's got a little bit of a head start preparing for that. So I think they're really helping her out with these dance routines to give her the best possible chance of potentially making it into the finale, even on the basis of scores. What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, to your point, I think the waltz is going to be probably her higher scoring dance of the two. I think with the jive, she has a very fun classic song that really will probably energize the audience. So I think that's going to really help her. I'm curious as to how the judges are going to score her, because knowing, she's not as great of a dancer as the other 4 is, it's like, do you score according to her skill set or against the other 4 without getting backlash? Because, the fans could really rally against her if she, has a huge gap between the other 4 contestants. So, be curious just to see, especially with the jive, how the judges will score her on that.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I co-sign a lot of what Cordell just said, and I do think, she has some, good song choices to work with, and, I hope she does good work with them, especially, again, especially, hopefully she successfully continues her growth arc this season. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to watch with these.
Then you got Charity Lawson and Artem Chigvintsev. They will perform a rumba to Love the Way You Lie Part 3 by Skylar Gray and a quick step to Boss by Fifth Harmony. Now, just from the sounds of both of those, this is going to be the challenge to really emote, to bring out the fire and the attack on the quick step, to bring out the romance and the believability of the rumba. So I think she's, I really am thinking she's just going to get the same critiques from Kare Ann, saying like, there's just something that's missing. There's just a little connection, a little spark that's missing, because she hasn't gotten there yet. Although maybe with her second dance, that will be her moment to, get her perfect score. Maybe. What do you think, Cordell?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the rumba, there's probably gonna be some critiques. I think with a lot of her routines, it's going to be danced really well. It's just that connection to the dance and really bringing the audience along with her routine. So I could see her probably getting a few critiques on that. I think her quick step is probably going to be her perfect dance for the season, because I know she has yet to receive a perfect score. So I think that'll probably be it for her. I'm hoping that she really does bring it, because I could see her being the one eliminated if Allison doesn't go, unfortunately.
Same. What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, I especially agree with that latter point. Yeah, especially as we're now down to 5 almost top-notch contestants. Yeah, one of them may just go before the finals, well, prematurely. And yeah, if Charity doesn't nail these, her days in the ballroom might be numbered, but man, I hope she really gives it her all in both routines, especially after what I thought she provided such an excellent work last night. So, keeping my fingers crossed for her.
Then we've got Ariana Madix and Pasha Pashkov. They'll perform a jive to Runaway Baby by Bruno Mars and a foxtrot to Trampoline by Shade and Zayn. I think she'll be fine. She's done the fast-paced dances. She's done the slower romantic dances. I don't see any reason to doubt she'll do well with these, except for maybe like if she's continuing to have some like back issues or injury issues that might trip her up along the way. But it didn't seem to really affect her this past week. So fingers crossed that she's healthy and able to execute across the remainder of the season. Yeah, I just have a strong feeling about these, and I feel like she's, I wouldn't say cruise into the finale because her fan base has never really been tested. But yeah, I'd expect to see her in the finale. What about you, Cordell?
I agree. I mean, we haven't seen her or Sochi mentioned as like the bottom three yet throughout this whole season. So for me, that's just the tall tale sign that they have a strong fan base, and it might come down to the two of them finale night, assuming they both make it. I think in terms of her dance styles, I think this will be another set of high scores for her. She's another contestant like Charity who's yet to receive a perfect score individually. So I feel like maybe one or possibly both of these dance styles will see a perfect score for her. So
What do you think, Jeffrey?
Well, again, at this point in the season, I don't expect any less from Ariana. I mean, I agree that there's definitely potential for her to finally get perfect score next week. I mean, we'll see. And yeah, and yeah, I think again, I still think it'll probably be down to her and Zochi for the Mayor Ball Trophy, but. So I'm certainly am very intrigued to see what she's going to bring next week.
And then last up, there's Jason Mraz, who just got his first perfect score. He and Daniela Karagat will perform a Viennese waltz to I Won't Give Up by an artist named Jason Mraz. You know, obscure artist named Jason Mraz, and a Paso Doble to Diablo Rojo by Rodrigo y Gabriela. The Viennese waltz, I feel like, is going to be strong for him. Paso Doble, he needs to bring it exactly the way he brought it on the Argentine tango, because that's another potential showstopper of the dance style. We know he can channel that exact level of intensity and attack. So yeah, I see, you know, assuming he remembers all his steps, I foresee at least one perfect score for him on the semifinals. What do you think, Cordell?
yeah, I mean, I think out of all of the five remaining contestants, I think Jason has the best two dance styles. I think that would fit his personality and his dance ability. Um, I love how he's able to just be versatile as a dancer, whether it's Latin versus ballroom. And I think both of these dance styles will really suit him to once again be at the top or near the top of the leaderboard. So to your point, assuming all goes well with him and remembering his steps, he's definitely someone I can see sailing to the finals just based on these two dance styles on paper, at least.
What do you think, Jeffrey?
I agree that I think Jason definitely has a shot of making it to the finals, you know, especially, well, not just skills, but hopefully his fan base is strong enough too. And, you know, it was only a matter of time before Jason did a performance to one of his own songs. So hopefully he and Daniela will come up with a great dance to it. So there's a lot of potential here. So, and, you know, and hopefully it's not another letdown like, you know, how it's kind of been for him throughout the season where, okay, first he's on top, then he's below, then he's back on top, then he's below. So hopefully it's just on top 2 weeks in a row.
Agreed. And interestingly enough, if he and Ariana make the finals, which I think there's a really, I mean, odds are that they'll both make the finals, I think. That means we're going to have Pasha and Daniela, husband and wife pair, competing against each other in the finals. We've had husband and wife duos on Dancing with the Stars, Among the Stars, and among the pros in the past. I can't remember off the top of my head if any have been to the finals together. Do you happen to know off the top of your head? If you have not done this research, neither have I, so it's okay, Cordell.
No. I was trying to think maybe Jenna and Val, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely two who would have done it.
Yeah.
Do you have that, Jeffrey, or no?
I do not have it. No,
Okay.
not on top of my head. I mean, I especially remember the season, Alexa and Carlos Penavega won, but neither of them made it to the finals.
So yell at us in the comments, and someone, I assume, will read it. Well, with that, I want to thank Jeffrey and Cordell for joining me again, as always. Thank you, everyone, for watching this. Depending on when you see this, I hope you are having or have had a really good, lovely holiday weekend. And we will see you again next week to talk about the semifinals, and maybe we'll have the dances to talk about the finale. So we will talk to you again next week. See you then.